And welcome to game number 1 in this series, Eärnur versus OLADUSHEK. Or I think it was like Eärnur. I'm not really sure, but yeah, it's going to be versus OLADUSHEK. Best of 5, round of 16, single elimination stage of Double Cup 3. So these are double and triple TC start maps. We do have a quadruple TC start map, although I do not think that's going to be utilized for this stage of the tournament. Regardless though, for game number 1, it's Hindustanis for Eärnur. And faster attacking, 25% faster attacking. By the way, I'm talking about music here and everything. Well, if you're watching this on YouTube, there is no music anyway. But yeah, regardless though. What else do we have? We have incredible camels for Hindustanis. We have extra armor on gunpowder units as well, and they're going to have a discount on villages, which is really nice. Meanwhile, OLADUSHEK instead, he gets with Mongols faster working hunters, which can be really good. Now for Katinga, I'm not really sure how much of an impact that could potentially have. I see that we have some deer available, for instance, for the bull player down the south over here. However, it doesn't seem like we have any extra hunting around. Like there's going to be 2 boars, one on the left and one down the south. Yeah, right? But there are no extra huntables that I can see, at the very least not easily available. If you go forward, you will find a section of deer available close to the center of the map surrounding a pond with tigers over here. I think these are leopards. Oh, jaguars actually. But yeah. This is definitely a lot of extra food as well available to the players in the form of fishing at the center as well. But you gotta keep in mind, if you want to take advantage of all the fishing over here, you will have to take care of the jaguars. And these units cannot be lured away from the center. So if you bring a villager close to the center, it's most likely not going to get targeted by the jaguars and you won't be able to do much of anything about it. Meanwhile, yeah, the deer will still be available, and they're not just around the center, but we can also see that they're also scattered around the map. So Mongols can be really strong over here, and there's a reason OLADUSHEK went for them, and I imagine the faster working hunters is going to be the reason for that. As for the civilization matchup, well, Hindustanis will be a very strong late game civilization, and they are, unlike Mongols, going to hold their own quite well in the earlier stages of the game and the mid stages of the game, at the very least better than Mongols, that's for sure. While Mongols, on the other hand, they do get a power spike early on in the game, usually on normal starts. However, on double TC starts, I don't think that's going to be too relevant, because both players are going to have strong enough economies to most likely just go up to the castle age right away, and we won't really see the Mongols faster working hunters provide them a massive lead to the field age and in scout number production, for instance. Or scout production numbers, rather. So I'm not really sure if I can put a finger on who's got the better save over here. I do favor Mongols over here just because the Mangudai are an insane unit to get to once you get to the later stages of the game, while Hindustanis will get, of course, fantastic camels, but they are still camels. They are not very strong against ranged units. They do not have the highest pierce armor, and I imagine Mangudai should be able to take care of camels no problem, although this is just my speculation. I guess we are going to find out if we do get to the late stages with both these guys. So far, 0-0. KD. And it's going to stay this way, it seems. Oh, by the way, I just realized right now that the chat was not working. Let's try and fix that. Okay, there we go. This should work, I think. Yeah, there we go. Sorry about that. Nice snipe over here, though. First unit going down, and it's to the TC. What's going on with OLADUSHEK? Remember, the bull player is actually not that high, though, compared to what you're used to seeing around my channel. Of course, this is still a very high-level player at 1800, but it's not anywhere near as strong as many of the other participants. However, he has proven he is worthy of moving on to the next stage over here, the round of 16 in this tournament, compared to some of the other higher level players, just because how well he's been able to adapt to this game mode. So that kind of makes up for the difference in elo, I would say, for the most part. And I guess we'll find out. Give me a second, by the way. I'm gonna try and use the bot, because I think I might have to restart my stream at a later point as well because of this. Yeah. Yeah, the custom bot's not really working right now. Damn it. I should have just restarted the OBS when I had the chance. Anyway, it's not really going to make a difference if you're watching YouTube, but for my live stream viewers, it's certainly going to have an impact. And we see a villager go down, though, from Eärnur to OLADUSHEK's remaining scout. This is remarkable. The blue player is able to get damage done over here with one scout only when he's chased by two scouts, when he's got half HP on this unit. He manages to get a villager from underneath the TC as well, which is just amazing. Castle Age is on the way now for OLADUSHEK as well, while Eärnur is only now going up to the Fuel Age, and it seems like the... Yeah, this is not Eärnur's day by the look of it. He cannot really get the quick walls down on time. So OLADUSHEK keeps on roaming around, and he's got a market on the way. Taking a look at what he could potentially go for in the Castle Age, there are a few things that OLADUSHEK will have access to. First off, he can make a play for military by going for a few stables, potentially starting to pump a few knights. Of course, that would only get him as far as he can go until Eärnur gets to the Castle Age and gets access to camels himself. However, it seems to me like he's probably going to try to play for economy, and he should. He should be playing for economy, because that's what Mongols are really going to want to play for once you get to the later stages of the game. Okay, let me just... Okay, we're good? I think we're good. Let me try and play some music. Hey, it's working! We're back, baby! Yes! Well, let's keep on going then. Hey, Bailo, Grump, as well. How you guys? I'm sorry about the downtime over there. I just needed to switch servers. But it seems to be working much better now. Hopefully it's going to stay like that. Bagness can be confirmed. Yes, sir! How are you guys doing? Hope you're having a great week so far. We have today, tomorrow, then Saturday and Sunday. Double Cup 3 matches to cast. I'm going to be doing 2 sets each day. And next week, of course, we're going to have even more action as the double elimination round 16 begins as well. We're going to see one villager going down from Eärnur to OLADUSHEK scouts. Yeah, and interestingly enough, OLADUSHEK goes for the castle over here, supposed to go in for extra economy, so it seems like he'll just try to go for full Mangolite production early on, which is not what I was expecting necessarily. That's another villager back down from Eärnur. Nice village pick over here from OLADUSHEK though. Fantastic. Might be able to find another one. We do have 2 weak villagers over here, although he's going to try and target the isolated one. Because he's got the hill advantage, it makes sense as well. And he's getting another villager, so that's getting him very close to a 1-to-1 ratio. 3-2 still favoring OLADUSHEK. But we might see another villager go down over there as OLADUSHEK reacts on time, though. Eärnur's reaction is swift as well, and he pulls the scouts away. Meanwhile, we have Step Lancers coming in. We have Mangolite coming in from OLADUSHEK as well. He's just going for full military production. No extra TCs to speak of. Eärnur instead, he's getting to the Castle Age on a higher worker count, although that shouldn't be the case too much more. So yeah. Must confess that I have not followed this tournament at all, so whatever you cast will be new to me here. I assume that these are X. Yeah, these are X. This tournament has been playing since about 3 weeks ago, I think, or so. we cast all the round of 64 sets, all the round of 32 sets, we cast 2 round of 16 sets, and we still have 6 left to go for. So it's actually not going to be 2, 2, 2, and 2. I think it's probably going to be 2 today, 2 tomorrow, and then 2 on Friday. I'm not really sure the Warlords begins this weekend. If it begins on Saturday and Sunday, we're going to have to do that. And cast all 5 days. I'm not 100% sure. One thing that you gotta keep in mind is that the round of 16 that we are seeing here is a single elimination round of 16. And this features players who did not get a direct invite into the double elimination round of 16 stage of the tournament. So, starting next week, 8 new players are going to join the tournament as direct invites. And they'll be fighting whoever makes it from the single elimination round of 16 stage into the double elimination round of 16. So one of these players is going to make it into the double elimination round of 16. That's what I'm trying to say, where they are going to face 8, or arguably much stronger players. We have many GL members. I don't think we have any Aftermath members. But yeah, you're going to recognize a lot more faces starting next week, I'm pretty sure. It's still worth checking this out though. Many of the series that we saw earlier were really good, especially in the round of 32, and many of these games are starting to come up on YouTube starting November 4th, if I'm not mistaken. If you want to keep up that way. So far though, IKKV is still favoring. It's actually favoring Eärnur currently. Yeah. And OLADUSHEK's trying to fix that, of course. He's got the Mango Die at hand, so he should be able to get villagers down without too many issues. And he does get a villager, and that's gonna be 4 additional villagers he's getting for sure. The villagers are not moving! Eärnur does not react over here at all. To be fair, he wouldn't have been able to save those vills. So he just gives up on him. It seems like OLADUSHEK should be able to find some more villagers over here. Eärnur is struggling big time to keep up with everything. He does have a counter push coming up though after we see the villagers go down over here from the red player. Let's take a look at the counter strike from Eärnur. As OLADUSHEK is taking 1, 2, 3 villagers down. He's going to get 4 villagers. Should be able to get 4 villagers, and he does get 4 villagers. Nice. We might see another vill go down pretty soon. There we go. Total pretty good still for OLADUSHEK. He's managed to get more damage done. You can see 18 to 13 IKKV so far. Favoring the red player. Favoring the blue player, sorry. But Eärnur is still out and about with these camels. Could find some extra damage, especially if he tries to pursue the other base of OLADUSHEK. Like, there are so many villagers exposed over here. Notice how many villagers OLADUSHEK had to pull from the left-hand side base over to the right-hand side, which resulted in a lot of idle villager time as well. As a matter of fact, you take a look at the worker efficiency in the last minute, and OLADUSHEK's gone down the ground. It's not to say that Eärnur is particularly inspiring, to be fair, but it's much lower for OLADUSHEK still, and now we see a defensive castle coming out for Eärnur, which will make it, of course, very hard for OLADUSHEK to keep on putting pressure from the castle edge, from this angle. So he'll most likely gonna make a play to go out to the Imperial Age, and he's got very close to having enough resources. Just gotta sort the situation out back home. Warlord starts this weekend, I think. Okay, yeah, then most likely we'll do 2 today, 2 tomorrow, and 2 on Friday, and then we're going to do Warlords on Saturday and Sunday, I think. Glad I'm not a villain. TTC start seems highly risky. It is. Another one goes down, just as we talk about it. And so far, 21 to 16 IKKV. Still favoring OLADUSHEK, but overall we have seen 37 villages go down this game, either to military units or to Gaia. It seems like there is 1 extra loss over here for OLADUSHEK compared to the kills that Eärnur's got in this one. Oh, ballsy castle drop, though. Coming out from Eärnur. Does he know about the TC? He's got no idea about the TC, and he's coming with the villagers from the left-hand side. This could be disastrous. There are Magode over here from OLADUSHEK. He's got the TC. He can garrison this. He's got 14 villagers and he's not paying attention. Eärnur. He pulls the villagers out of here before OLADUSHEK realizes what's going on down the south and gets a chance of taking some of the villagers down. It's good that Eärnur was paying attention over there. Not so good that OLADUSHEK was not, but to be fair, it was the red player who was coming forward with aggression, so it makes sense that he was the one keeping track of this better. And yeah, it seems like he'll be able to get the castle up over here. Now, because there is a castle up from both players up in the north, the natural reaction is a race to the Imperial Age. And Eärnur, interestingly enough, is not going up to the Imperial Age anytime soon. Just sticking to the Castle Age. And OLADUSHEK will be there significantly sooner now because he's got Mongols. Once again, he does have a strong civilization to potentially push Eärnur back. But because he's going to be first to the Imperial Age anyway, he'll get access to Trebuchet and he'll be able to take both these castles down. The one on the left-hand side from Eärnur, or actually the one down south, and then the one up north as well. So this is very, very surprising to see the red player go for a forward castle when he does not have anywhere near enough resources to go up to the Imperial Age. When the fact of the matter is both players having a castle up in the north means that they should be racing to the Imperial Age, because whoever gets to Trebuchet first will get a huge lead over here. Stables on the way for Eärnur. Right hand side. OLADUSHEK. He's defending against the camels quite successfully this time around. Much, much better compared to earlier on, when he was just taking losses, had basically no defenses beyond just the TCs. And we have the Trebuchets on the way already for OLADUSHEK. He's got the first one down the south, and he's got the first one on the way up in the north, where he's gonna have to throw 2 castles down over here from Eärnur. And Eärnur's bringing the armor elephants. OLADUSHEK's gotta be careful. He can use the villagers over here. He does have Magode. Magode will still have bonus against siege, but he can just use the villagers. I don't think repairing over here is going to be the best choice. I think he should be trying to take the armor elephants down with vills. But yeah, once again, he does have Magode, so Magode should be enough to take this down. I guess it's fine. Yeah, it's okay. He should be able to take care of the armor elephants just fine. Meanwhile, on the right-hand side, Eärnur's been able to get a few extra villagers over here, but ultimately, he should end up losing all of these camels. OLADUSHEK's not gotten ballistics yet, so these Magode are not quite as strong as they could be. Still was enough to defend against Eärnur, and now that OLADUSHEK's got some momentum forward, should be able to take care of this. Eärnur's going to go on and call it GG right away. So game number 1 goes in favor of OLADUSHEK, and I'm very curious about the elo of both these guys, so I'm just going to look them up. But first, we'll take a look at the achievements, and then we'll take a look at game number 2. So taking a look at military first, we'll see that OLADUSHEK managed to get a better than 3 to 2 KD ratio. Well, for economy, we have a very nice lead over here for Eärnur. It's only 500 extra resources, but you can see how OLADUSHEK's eco management was better, that allowed them to go out to the Imperial Age, that allowed them to keep on putting pressure. And the reason for that was also because he took a lot fewer losses compared to Eärnur, who ended up spending a lot of extra resources into military units. He ultimately ended up losing. For society, we see a higher worker count for Eärnur for the villager max count, while for total current, we can see that Eärnur ended up losing, I think that's 28 villagers, while OLADUSHEK, on the other hand, he actually ended up losing more than that, but he did not produce quite as many villagers, right? 134 to 113, so that goes to show once again, OLADUSHEK was a little bit more austere with his economy, right? So he did not produce as many villagers. He lost a lot, yes, but he did not produce quite as many, so he saved some of the production resources, and that was also the case for military too. So well played. We'll take a look at game number 2 in a moment. So yeah, welcome everyone to game number 2, and as I was saying, the map pool is going to be different depending on which stage of the tournament we are in. So in this case, we have There we go. In this case, we have a different map pool for the round of 16, the single elimination round of 16, compared to the round of 32 and the round of 64, if I'm not mistaken. So once we are past this and we begin the double elimination round of 16 next week, the entire map pool is going to be available to players. Now, this is going to be great. We'll have Double Cup 3 on the weekdays, and we're going to have, during the weekends, Warlords. So we're going to have plenty of H coming up, and I am so glad the players... Look, I enjoyed Red Bull Willow as much as the other guy, as much as the next guy, and I had a blast in the tournament. I just enjoyed it so much. We were waiting for it for so long, and I was kind of afraid that it, you know, overhyping it was going to result in huge disappointment, but I actually had a lot of fun, and it actually exceeded my expectations that I had for the tournament, so it was great. But now that it's over, it's also great because the players are back. We're getting a lot more action. We're going to have Double Cup 3. We're going to have Warlords. We are going to pick it from there, of course. And the profile pic is of the Mouth of Sauron from the Lord of the Rings, by the way. I've been watching Lord of the Rings the last week or so. I watched the first one, and I watched the second one, the extended editions. And I made the attempt to start watching the third one, Return of the King. But it was kind of late. And I was watching it with my roommate. And they were getting super sleepy, so I said, yeah, we should probably just leave this one for another day because it's like 4.5 hours. So I think we're probably going to do that either today or tomorrow. But it's been great. The second one was probably my favorite one. I loved it. And it's so good. I can't believe it took me this long to watch them. But it's been great. I love it so much. I've also been listening to Don Carlin's Hardcore History podcast, and I've just started to get into not too much, but I've started to appreciate ancient history a little bit more because of it, and I started to get into a little bit more of the fantasy because of Lord of the Rings as well. So it's been great. Oh, Eärnur! He's stealing the buffaloes from OLADUSHEK. That sucks. Now we have just a few goats over here on the left-hand side. Return of the King is the best. Two Towers? Oh yeah, Two Towers was great. I haven't seen... Well, I guess I'm going to see about Return of the King later, but... I would imagine the books will be quite good. As it's usually the case, usually the books are much better than the movie, so if I like the movie so much, I imagine I would probably enjoy the books even more so. Man, sometimes I wish they had 48 hours. And that we didn't need to sleep so much. There's so many things that I would like to do. Anyway, for this one, Coral Island. We haven't really taken a look at the map too much. So each player is going to begin in one corner of the map with 1 TC and a few starting resources. So we have one forest in each corner island. We are going to have some hunting as well. Some herdables. Some lurables as well. We saw the elephants go down for the players already. And some berry bushes as well as a little bit of gold and a little bit of stone. So you do have your starting pack of resources. But then you do want to get out of here because most of the resources are going to be at the center, especially wood. But then all the extra stone is at the very center, and then the extra golds are actually in the little surrounded islands over here. I'm not really sure how to call this. Like, it's kind of like an archipelago, but yeah, that's where the rest of the gold is. You gotta keep in mind as well that all of these extra resources around the smaller surrounding islands are very exposed. So if you do not get water control, you won't be able to collect gold from here, for instance, or wood from here. You'll still be able to get wood from the center, but you definitely do want to fight for water over here, so it makes sense that we see both players playing the same civilization, Italians. One of the strongest, if not the strongest, water civ for maps like this. There we go. VLH is here ready for OLADUSHEK, so he'll probably be the first one to go up to the Castle H. Let's see about those buildings. His house, though. This is really bad. I'm not really sure why he's not been going for houses at all. At all? Only now he's going for a house, but he's been... I saw the population indicator over here light up for quite a while, actually. Okay. VLH is here for Eärnur. Reason I went to study in New Zealand in the 2000s to try and get a role as an extra in the Lord of the Rings movies. Wow. They started filming those in the 97, right? Did not manage to, but had a blast of a time anyway. I imagine. I saw a video about Christopher Lee's life the other day. And it seems like he had an epic time. And... by the looks of it. Oh, there we go. Duck's coming up over here for OLADUSHEK. Yeah, and by the looks of it, he was the only guy who have actually met the author of the books. Castle is on the way now for Eärnur. OLADUSHEK's taking much longer to go out than I thought it was going to, though. Usually on double TC starts, you're able to go out to the Castle Age right away. And OLADUSHEK's taking much longer over here, so Eärnur's going to have him beat, which means we're going to get access to War Galley earlier for the red player. Yeah, this is very interesting. Let's see. There we go. Good reaction from Eärnur. Taking the galley down right away. In terms of military, we have 9 galleys for OLADUSHEK, who's only now going out to the Castle Age. And Eärnur's got about 6 fire galleys. That's not the best. Once he gets the war galley upgrade, that's going to be warships. Yeah, I mean, that's going to be fire ships. But the big problem for the red player right now, though, is that he won't really be able to engage the galleys over here, because he doesn't really get any mobility advantage. So unlike land, where you have your knights move faster than your archers, and you get to the Castle Age and you have your melee units perform better than the range units, especially from an age before, that is not the case over here, right? Like, OLADUSHEK does not have to take the engagement. He can just bail, he can just sail away. Wait until he gets to the Castle Age, go for the war galley upgrade, and then he's going to be in 13 warships, or war galleys. He's going to have 4 demolition ships, as he's going for demolition rafts right now as well. And that should be enough for him to completely push Eärnur out of water. So despite the fact that OLADUSHEK's going after the castle so much later compared to Eärnur, it seems to me that he is in a much better position to end up getting water control by the looks of it. I have to wonder though, how much preparation he had on this map. If any at all. Hey Turnip! Hi. Welcome back. I've been having a very hard time finding turnips around my area, by the way. I asked my usual produce provider and he said, nah, there's no chance. Nice. No more galley upgrade coming up yet for OLADUSHEK. He's losing a few of the galleys over here for free. Yeah, that is 3 galleys going down over there. OLADUSHEK did not need to lose. He was not paying attention. And to be fair, it's pretty difficult to keep up with everything that's taking place. Not only is this a 2 TC start, but also we have the water element to make it even harder to keep tabs with everything, right? So all the fishes are going down the south from OLADUSHEK. He ends up taking a questionable trade on the right hand side as well, and I was saying he was in a much better position to get water control over here, but I was not banking on him just throwing all his army away, and that's very unfortunate from the bull player, as Eärnur's done a great job putting pressure everywhere. He overwhelmed OLADUSHEK's attention span, and that allowed him to get better trades for the most part. You can take a look at the KD, and Eärnur is 2-1 right now, or close to it at 22-11. OLADUSHEK, he's getting ballistics now. He's got 5 dogs to produce war galleys from, and we see only 3 dogs from Eärnur. He's producing just fire ships, so still should be better for OLADUSHEK, but he's taking a lot of losses over here, and he should already have gotten water control if he was paying attention to all his army, as opposed to having to get control back from Eärnur. For the player though, by the looks of it, it's going to be able to go up to the Imperial Age very soon. If you take a look at his resources, and Imperial Age changes everything. Once he gets there and gets access to fast fire ship, that's going to overwhelm whatever navy OLADUSHEK's got left from the Castle Age. So this should be really good for Eärnur if he does manage to go up. He will need the buildings though, and right now I don't think he's going for much of anything, just the extra TCs. Yep, 30 TC on the gold, 40 TC at the center. And no universities, no monasteries, no siege workshops. I grow some myself some years. Oh, nice. Turnip. Let me know. What is the season for turnips? Yeah, AOE2.net's been down for like a month, probably more than that, and doesn't seem like it's coming up anytime soon, unfortunately. I think the guy who maintains it is probably not maintaining it anymore, which is very unfortunate. I'm not really sure there's an API for AOE2 insights. But we could probably try to implement some of that. You can also do hashtag Eärnur or hashtag OLADUSHEK. I think that's probably going to give you some information. Okay, it seems like it's not working for Eärnur. I guess it's probably going to work for OLADUSHEK. But we took a look already at both these players, and Eärnur is 2k1 and OLADUSHEK 1700. So the fact that the blue player is ahead in the series so far is nothing short of remarkable. But Eärnur seems to be performing a lot better in game number 2. He's got most of the map control. The only thing that we have at the center for OLADUSHEK is a lone villager over here just going for a few houses. That's about it. Yeah. The match command's not gonna work in green because we are casting record the games. From today through Friday, we'll be casting just record the games. It's going to be 2 sets today, 2 sets tomorrow, and 2 sets on Friday to finish the round of 16, the single elimination round of 16 coverage. And next week we'll begin with the double elimination round of 16. Meanwhile, Saturday and Sunday, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be for Warlords, which I'm very, very much looking forward to. Really just coming out for Eärnur. It's gonna be there in 40 seconds, but OLADUSHEK managed to click up to the Imperial Age himself as well. This is gonna have a lot to offset for, a lot to catch up to, as Eärnur's been working his economy in addition to his military production, and OLADUSHEK's been prioritizing military for the most part. Now, once again, fast fire ship from Eärnur once he gets to the Imperial Age should be able to clean up all of this without major issues. So he's gotten there. The question though is, will he go for it? In my opinion, he's got to. Because once again, if you do not get water control over here, you won't be able to collect the resources you need to take the game, like all the extra gold that's available surrounding the center island, all the extra wood that's available surrounding the center island, all the extra wood that's available in the center island towards the water, towards the edge of the or along the shoreline, right? If you do not get water control, the only thing you can get from the center is stone and wood. To be fair, stone might allow you to come back potentially by going for a few castles close to the shorelines, but yeah, it's still not ideal if you have to come back. Ideally, you want to get water control from the get-go. So Eärnur, he's got fast fire ships already. For whatever reason, he's not really engaging. At the very least, not on the left-hand side. Yeah, and on the right-hand side, He's not engaging either. I think he's probably trying to fish for OLADUSHEK's Navy. We have some condottieri coming out for Eärnur as well, the center. Nice. Hey, Manco. Hi, hi. Welcome. Bienvenido, loco. ¿Cómo vas? Espero que todo bien. Dry dock on the way for Eärnur. So he already had careening. I'm not really sure if OLADUSHEK's gone for careening. He's got it. He's got it. Those are some great demo shots over there, though. OLADUSHEK's got bang! A bunch of demos available over here to take care of even fast fire ships. Will struggle against these and these numbers. So no wonder OLADUSHEK ends up getting a very, very good trade over there. Now, he's got more still. He's got 2 more demolition ships over here to take advantage of. So let's see if he's going to. Come on! OLADUSHEK! Ah, that was kind of underwhelming, though. Left-hand side. Seems like Eärnur's going to end up getting full water control. The docks are going down from OLADUSHEK as he's going for the galleon upgrade. Down the south. Yeah, we have also more pressure coming in from the red players. So without any extra docks down the south over here, it seems like OLADUSHEK wouldn't be able to do too much. Yeah, and Eärnur's got this one in the bag. For sure, it would take nothing short of a miracle for OLADUSHEK to come back into this one. Population is already quite telling, almost twice for Eärnur compared to OLADUSHEK, and it doesn't seem like the blue players got even the production potential to come back. Let me take a look to see how many docks he's on. He's on 5 docks. If we take a look at the red player, he's on 5 docks as well, so on even ground, both players will be able to produce the same amount of military each. So OLADUSHEK just goes on and calls a GG. That means that this is going to be a 1-to-1 series here. And let's go and take a look at the achievements really quick before we jump into game number 3 to see who gets the lead in the series. So that's a better than 4-to-3 KD ratio for Eärnur. For economy, we'll see a stronger economy for Eärnur as well, collecting about 8,000 extra resources. For society, a higher max villager count for Eärnur. And he ended up taking only 2 villager losses, only 1 fishing ship loss as well, so 3 eco losses actually. And OLADUSHEK on the other hand ended up losing 8 plus 4, so that's going to be 12 eco losses. It was a much better game for Eärnur. I did not take a look at the APM in the previous game, but it seems like players are pretty even. Eärnur is a little bit higher, well actually substantially higher compared to OLADUSHEK, but I wouldn't say that either of these players is particularly quick compared to the other high-level guys. So let's go back and wait for game number 3. We are jumping into game number 3. Once again, I'm not really sure what it is about loading the game that's chugging capture H pretty badly. But this is just going to take a few moments to stabilize once again, so sorry about that. Oh! Villager goes down from the get-go. Wait, are you allowed to villager fight the nomad starts? I guess this is... Hold on. Let me pause this for a moment. What's going on? Dude, performance today has been terrible. And I am not really sure why. Let me take a look to see if this is OBS or if this is capture H. No, it's not capture, it's actually OBS, interestingly enough. But it's recovered, I think. Yes, I do not really know why. I think it's probably just a transition. Sorry about that. Let's keep on going. And yeah, we'll see a villager go down over there. From OLADUSHEK to Eärnur's villagers. That was a very nicely played body block move over there. However, OLADUSHEK will go on to build a TC elsewhere. They changed that for the main event? Yeah, I'm fairly surprised that they even allow this. Even in the early stages, because it's usually the case that it's banned from the get-go. But, alright. Yeah, with the double TC start, it's not that big of a deal. So, OLADUSHEK's got 1 TC coming up on the right-hand side. We have 1 TC coming up down the south. Meanwhile, Eärnur, it seems like he'll go for the TCs. Where are the TCs? He's got one on the left-hand side and one at the center, right? Yeah. This map, Dalo Krakatoa, if I'm not mistaken, yes, has a lot of fish at the center. Around the fish, we have some stone, we have some wood. These are dry trees, but still contain 125 wood each. And plenty of relics around the center as well, so you can see we have 3 relics over here from the get-go. There's actually a 4th relic somewhere. Am I blind? Oh yeah, it's behind the trees over here down the south. Okay, so we have 4 relics over here. Is that the total amount of relics, or do we have a 5th relic elsewhere? Oh, we have extra relics actually, 3 on the left-hand side and probably 3 down the south. So that's going to be 10 relics total. And then surrounding the center area, we have a depressed, I guess we call a shoreline, with all the gold, extra stone, extra wood. And surrounding that, we have mangrove with extra gold, extra wood as well. And then surrounding the mangrove, we finally have a final layer of water with deep fish available. So that's going to be quite good. The one thing I did not mention though was all the rhinos that are, what am I talking about? All the water buffaloes that are available on the mangrove terrain. Oh man, OLADUSHEK's struggling big time though. 4 villagers he got out of the TC before he realized they were not working. I think this might have been related to the waypoint, the way the waypoint works. Yeah, most likely. At this point in time, we can see that Eärnur was able to hold on to his villager lead, but it's not massive, it's just 1 extra worker. OLADUSHEK instead, well, he's been able to catch up. Yeah, because Eärnur got housed for a moment over there, and you can see that he's got a little bit of extra TC time. So it's, for that what TC starts, once again, the early villager pick is not going to be quite as impactful. But the longer the tournament goes and the deeper into it we get, the more advanced stages are going to have most likely closer gameplay, higher level gameplay, and that's going to become more impactful. So it does make sense that they do ban the early villager picks early on. So far though, it's neck and neck. Eärnur's ahead by 3 workers. He's been going for fishing ships, he's been going for villagers. Both players have been going for the same, so it's just going to be a matter of, you know, sometimes Eärnur's going to have a lead, sometimes OLADUSHEK's going to look very even. I think Eärnur's going to stay ahead as long as he can keep all his production buildings working. But OLADUSHEK will be able to catch up from time to time. In any case, as long as both players play their cards right, Eärnur's lead should remain constant or consistent, and OLADUSHEK's not going to keep on falling further behind. They really didn't talk about the civilization too much, but it's going to be Persians for both, so it's the same situation we had in the previous game with a mirror matchup. For Persians, both these players will enjoy twice the HP on TCs. They're going to enjoy twice the HP on dogs, as well as 10, 15, and 20% faster working TCs and dogs in the feudal, castle, and imperial ages. Besides that, they begin with some extra resources in the shape of extra wood and extra food. There we go. And then for the team bonus, Nightline units will deal bonus damage against archer type units. Now that's probably not going to be too impactful over here, given that neither of these players will be going for archery. I would imagine, right? In before we get full crossbow push from one of them. But that'll be kind of suicidal against a Persian player for sure. Yeah. Village is coming in significantly earlier for Eärnur, which once again allows OLADUSHEK to catch up, albeit temporarily. Although it seems like OLADUSHEK will start pulling ahead though. He's got extra fishing ships coming out. There is a lot of deep fish, so it does make sense that he commits quite heavily over here. He should be getting ahead economically by going for this. The only problem, of course, with quote-unquote over-investing into fishing ships is that you are usually delaying yourself to the next stage. You're usually delaying yourself to actual navy. So it's probably going to be confined to playing defensive over here. It might not be too much of an issue because for the lead that Eärnur's getting to the Fuel Age and the lead that he's getting to Navy production, OLADUSHEK's going to have still the defender's advantage by the time Eärnur's units eventually make it onto OLADUSHEK's side of the map, by which point OLADUSHEK should already have been able to get to the Fuel Age, should already be able to start going for his own Navy as well. So now Eärnur's going up to the Castle Age as expected, and this is the point I expect players to start queuing some Navy, right? So Eärnur's got the first fire galleys coming out. He's got 3 docks to work with, while OLADUSHEK, on the other hand, I believe he's got 4. Yes. And he should be trying to go up to the Castle H ASAP. His economy does not seem to be quite as well balanced though, and he doesn't really have the means to click up yet. Especially as he's going for Navy from the get-go, and this I'm not the biggest fan of this. I definitely would have preferred OLADUSHEK to click up to the Castle H and then start going for Navy, but I understand his, you know, his drive to go for Navy ASAP since Eärnur's got into the Fuel Age so much earlier. He's probably, OLADUSHEK's probably already expecting Eärnur to be coming in with Navy at some point in time, so there we go. So what is this cast about in the tournament? Yes, this is the Double Cup 3. A double, triple, and quadruple TC star tournament. And we are in the round of 16 already. We cast the entirety of the round of 64. I believe we cast the entirety of the round of 64, if I'm not wrong. Except for one series which did not have all the Rex available. And we cast the round of 32. We are casting the round of 16 right now. Take a look at this though, the villager count over here. Kind of dropping a little bit for OLADUSHEK as we see some villagers go down over here to Eärnur scouts. Nice. And as the red player gets to the castle age, you can see the body of one of the villagers over here. As the red player gets to the castle age, we have an extra TC coming out down the south, and now it's on the way for Eärnur. Already planning on the land push, while OLADUSHEK, he's got a stable on the way. Is that the first table? That's the first table, and he's still not clicking out to the castle age. This is so odd from the blue player. It seems like he's just falling behind over here and won't be able to do much of anything about it because of all the villager losses he's taken. The worker lead that he had is vanished. And now Eärnur is ahead in worker count. He's ahead in military count. He is ahead in technology as well, just by being in the castle age. He's got access to stronger units, stronger upgrades. He's already gone for war galley. So that means that now OLADUSHEK's gonna be facing war galleys and fire ships as opposed to standard galleys and fire galleys. That's gonna be GG right away. And game number 3 goes the way of our Colombia player. I believe Eärnur is from Colombia, isn't he? And OLADUSHEK, well, he's against the ropes. Game number 4. It's always going to be match point. But yeah, Eärnur is looking very strong to get a spot in the double elimination round of 16. No, Ecuador. Sorry, my bad. Let's take a look at the achievements then. So, 2-1 for Ecuadorian player. Let's take a look at the military. All right. That's 3-2 KD ratio for Eärnur, which is fantastic. For economy, on the other hand, we do have 1,300 extra resources collected for Eärnur, which is remarkable given the fact that OLADUSHEK seemed to invest a lot more heavily into economy production himself. Pretty good society stats over here for Eärnur as well, surpassing OLADUSHEK's eco production by quite a bit. And I guess that's going to leave us with game number 4 to go for next. Yes. I'm just going to pause this. Because boy, it seems the transition, the scene transition for OBS is destroying my computer, and I'm not really sure why. Just gotta give it the moment. Yeah, and it seems to be OBS. It does not seem to be Capture H. I think I know why this is. I think I know what the problem is. There is a plugin that I utilize quite heavily, actually. It's called Stream Effects, and for OBS 28, which is the latest version, it's only in beta. So I'm not really sure if I'm going to go back to OBS 27, perhaps. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think I probably end up doing that. Well, anyway, just give it a moment. Sorry about the delay. Do you see the solders, by the way, on stream? Mouse is like... My computer is very smooth, but I see the OBS preview looks pretty bad. Okay, this is not fixing, actually. Holy crap, it's going to stay at 100%? Yeah, by the looks of it. I think that probably helps. Yeah. Okay, let's go. So what do we get for game number 4? It's gonna be Mountain Coast. This is that lovely, lovely map that you might remember from Terra Nova Duos. As a matter of fact, this was the map that won the map contest for the European region for Terra Nova Duos. And it's very interesting. Each player is going to begin in this version of Mountain Coast with 1 TC on water, and then we do have a trade workshop that allows you to train additional villagers that usually players would have to go and try to get control of by sending units over and converting this, but on the Double Cup 3 version of this map, the players already begin with villagers nearby, so they are able to basically convert this from the get-go. It's still possible for your opponent, for instance, to bring some military units and take your villages down and convert this over, and that would put them on 3 TCs, or at the very least 1 TC and 2 trade workshops to produce villagers from, as opposed to your standard 1 TC and 1 trade workshop. These buildings, by the way, can only produce villages at 50 seconds each, so they are significantly slower compared to TCs. It takes twice as long, but it's still good, of course. Each player will also begin with a junk available that they can utilize for trading as well. It's a trade workshop destroyable. You cannot attack it, I think. I think it's destroyable, yes. I guess technically you could attack it if an enemy unit was nearby it and you targeted it while it was still the enemy color. So you could probably still destroy it. It's probably not going to be worth the time. Especially since early on you can only fight with villagers, and the transition to the Castle Age is so fast on double TC start maps, or even 1 TC and 1 Trade Workshop start maps, that... yeah, by the time you get to the Castle Age, you'll be able to go for extra TCs anyway. But we'll see. That'll be interesting to see, though, in any case. Regardless, if you have the ability to destroy it, you probably have the ability to push your enemy away from it, so you probably have the ability to just convert it and use it to your advantage, which will be much better, of course. Anyway. Guys, how did you enjoy Red Bull Walhalla Legacy? I had a blast. I know that it's I've talked about it already today, but I do want to spur some conversation in the chat, and I want to know what your favorite parts of the event were. Did you catch with some Age of Empires 4 stuff? I did check some of the Age of Empires tournament games, but not all of them. The last day I was actually destroyed because I had to cast the Age of Empires 2 day, right? And then I had to edit the videos for YouTube, especially the last video, the last series, which had so many technical issues towards the end of my stream. I had to edit the crap out of it to make it watchable, and I ended up going to bed extremely late. By the time I woke up and I put on Red Bull's channel on Twitch, they were already interviewing the winner of the tournament, so I couldn't really enjoy the grand final of Age of Empires 4, but I had a good time watching the first 2 days. Amazing. Actually, all the matches from Tato starting from versus Jordan are all watch worth in my opinion. Yeah, I would agree. Yes. It was amazing. It was amazing to see what we saw in this tournament. Didn't think anybody would have expected to see that result, and it's so nice. FLH is on the way for Eärnur. OLADUSHEK's got him beat, but then again, he did have him beat in game number 2, I believe, and then he took so much longer to get to the Castle Age. Or was it game number 3? I think it might have been game number 3. So Eärnur's taking longer to get to the Field Age, but it might not matter if OLADUSHEK cannot make the transition to the Castle Age, right? And you take a look at the OLADUSHEK's resources, and quite clearly, the blue player does not have what it takes to go out to the Castle Age. So what is the plan here? By the way, why is OLADUSHEK not trading? Eärnur, I understand, because the starting dock from OLADUSHEK was behind the TC. Now OLADUSHEK's gone for another one on the left-hand side of the TC, but early on, Eärnur wouldn't have been able to trade easily without having to micro the junk around the TC. Meanwhile, OLADUSHEK should have been able to trade over here pretty easily, I believe. Regardless, Village is here for Eärnur. There we go. Blue player is going for Navy. Red player is thinking of going up to the Castle Age. Notice he's got a market and a blacksmith on the way next to the trade workshop. Well, it doesn't seem like OLADUSHEK will be able to go out to the Castle Age anytime soon. I don't think he's got the buildings. And he does not seem to be particularly interested in going for it. Wheelbarrow coming out for the blue player. It's just going to be full native production. Meanwhile, Eärnur is going to be on his way to the Castle Age very soon. He is under a lot of pressure, though. OLADUSHEK ends up pushing some of the fishing ships away. He's got extra fire galleys as well compared to Eärnur. It's just that they are not all in the same position. So he's got 4 up in the north. He's got just 1 down the south that's going to get cleaned up now. He's trying to target the docks over here. If he can prevent Eärnur from getting water control, this could represent a huge eco opportunity for the blue player for sure. So Castle Age is on the way for Eärnur. OLADUSHEK is trying to balance his economy, but still lacking the buildings. He does not even have a market. So he's just relying on manual balancing, and he's got a blacksmith on the way over here, but this is so much slower though. Eärnur is showing over here the difference between a 2K1 and a 1700 player. It's still commendable that OLADUSHEK was able to get a game in the series over here to speak of, but Eärnur is certainly looking much stronger in games number 2 through 4. It seems to me like this might be the last one in the set. I guess we'll still have to wait and see, but Eärnur's lead right now is undeniable. Looking really good, despite all the pressure that he's taking here. I'd like to see some land pressure, and he does have stables on the way. We didn't talk about the civs too much. We do have Berbers for Eärnur. Meanwhile, there is Japanese for OLADUSHEK. So Eärnur is going to get a 15% discount on stable unit production in the Castle Age. So as soon as he gets there, he should be able to keep the, or start queuing the stables. There we go. And most likely he'll end up losing water. But once he gets to the Castle Age, as he's already got him there, he can go for an extra TC on the mountain, so he doesn't need the water TC anymore. And he can start going forward and putting pressure with knights, right? And this could be so detrimental to OLADUSHEK's economy in the next 5 minutes or so. Depending on how the blue player plays his cards, he might end up taking just too many losses. Let's check. Castle Age is on the way for OLADUSHEK finally. Defensive towers, preempted towers. The moment Eärnur got to the Castle Age, OLADUSHEK already threw a few towers to the wood line. Down the south, yeah. The player will be able to get full water control once again. It's going to come with a cost of going up to the Castle Age significantly later. And Eärnur could potentially get some villager picks over here if he manages to sneak in. The Knights, though, will not find villagers. Oh! There are 2 villagers exposed over there! But Eärnur was not paying attention. Oh, man, the villagers over here could have gone down so easily to these Knights. I was gonna try and breach through the palisades, but this is not good. This is futile. Is he going to target the villagers, though? He's not! He's not going to. Wow. It's good to scale borrow than armor, so I understand the reluctance there. He was also putting pressure down south, or towards the right hand side rather, and he doesn't like getting 1 villager. He's got extra Knights to work with towards the east. But yeah, I guess I'm not really sure if he wanted to wait for +2. That would have been 2 easy picks though. Yeah, probably more than that, especially as OLADUSHEK kinda needs to delete the palisade at some point to let the villagers into the wood line. As the blue player gets to the Castle Age himself, he goes for the War Galley upgrade from the get-go. Should be able to take care of whatever units Eärnur's got to work with once he gets the War Galley upgrade. And boy, the demolition rafts over there were quite underwhelming from the blue player. Eärnur's Knights are still alive and taking fishing ships down. I guess if they cannot take villagers, they'll go after the fishing ships. So far, so good. He ended up pushing villagers away from the mountain over here towards the DC. And now what is OLADUSHEK doing? Send the villagers out into the open, and the Knights are there. From Eärnur, who's bringing the extra Knights. Even in lower HP, they'll still be able to get the villagers down, of course. And OLADUSHEK doesn't end up taking 2 losses over there and could end up losing more villagers for sure. There we go. 2 additional villagers go down, and wow. Really well played from the red player. He was able to catch up in worker count and surpass OLADUSHEK even. He was able to surpass OLADUSHEK in military count. And that's about it. Up in the north, there was a DC attempt by OLADUSHEK, but Eärnur's got the Magnus up here. He brought them over from the east. So if he loses these, it's gonna take quite a while for him to get extra siege out. But it doesn't seem like there's anything from OLADUSHEK to defend himself against this. So it's unlikely that Eärnur is going to end up losing the Magnus. So if he can keep on putting pressure, if he can bring a villager over as well, that'll be ideal, because he will be able to repair the Magnus and take the towers down. Without the towers, there isn't really too much stopping the Magnus over here and the Knights from taking all the villages. And that's a significant portion of OLADUSHEK's economy that's exposed over here, and it's overchop! It's overchop! Eärnur still does not have chain bar than armor, so of course the Knights are not going to stand for too long around the towers. But it might not matter. He's got the numbers over here, and the quick walls are not coming out for the blue player whatsoever, so the game's getting too hectic for blue to keep up, and Eärnur's going to take advantage of it right now. Finally, we see the Knights coming in. OLADUSHEK still not realized about the overchop, even though he already garrisoned some villages inside one of the towers. And then in the east, we see Eärnur doing heaps of damage against OLADUSHEK's economy with camels. Should end up cleaning all the Knights from OLADUSHEK. And without pikemen, the blue player won't be able to hold on against the push from Eärnur. We'll see these villages go down for sure. Yeah, there we go. Beautiful. Yeah, there we are. This is just disaster for the blue player. There is unfortunately not too much in terms of comeback conditions for OLADUSHEK right now, except Eärnur walking away from his computer for a while. By the way, the siege, or the trade workshop, sorry, up in the north was taken away from OLADUSHEK by Eärnur, so that's going to leave the red player on the equivalent to 2 TCs. And OLADUSHEK did get the second TC up, so he's going to be on 2 TCs as well. But that's not ideal, of course. It could have been 2.5 versus 1.5 TCs instead, if OLADUSHEK hadn't lost access to the trade workshop. From this point on, Eärnur's he can do pretty much anything he wants. He can go for full military and seal the deal. There isn't really too much in terms of defenses from OLADUSHEK, so Eärnur should be able to just seal the deal right away. Or he can make a play for economy, for which he will need to go for extra TCs. He does not seem to be going for extra economy, so most likely than not we are just going to see extra military production come up for him. Yeah, he's going for it. It's not great for Eärnur though. Villager was completely unprotected over there. Well done. OLADUSHEK takes the mantle down. Alleviates some of the pressure from red. Also on the way for Eärnur too. So I mean, I don't think that's going to make too much of a difference at this point in time. OLADUSHEK already had it, but it's just going to make his economy a little bit stronger even. He already has Horse Scholar as well. OLADUSHEK doesn't, but OLADUSHEK has been banking on the fishing ships for the most part for food, I guess. So it doesn't matter. And wow, a counter push from the bull player. He does end up getting one village down over there. I love the attempt, but unfortunately it doesn't really do too much for him. Eärnur's extra TC on the right hand side is going to get denied by the pre-existing mining camp over here from OLADUSHEK, but Eärnur's paying attention. He's going to relocate the TC while bringing extra military units over here once again. Let's see if OLADUSHEK's paying attention. If he is, he'll have to pull all these villagers away, which unfortunately is going to result in a lot of idle villager time. It's remarkable that OLADUSHEK up until this point was able to keep a higher worker efficiency compared to Eärnur, despite all the pressure that was coming out from the red player throughout the game. Beautiful. Yeah, OLADUSHEK's just not paying attention. This is game, guys. This game, Eärnur is gonna be moving on to the double elimination round of 16 stage of the tournament, where he'll be facing potentially much stronger players, the invited players, the 8 invited players that will start participating next week. So that's going to be 3-1 in favor of Eärnur. OLADUSHEK gets knocked out. So we'll jump into the next series in a moment. Let's go and take a look at the achievements really quickly before we do that. And what do we get? We see a very nice KD for Eärnur. It's better than 3-2 actually. Then for economy instead, we have a stronger economy for Eärnur. He ends up collecting about 1100 extra resources. For society, we see a higher worker count for Eärnur by quite a lot as well. He ended up losing 6 workers or 6 villagers throughout the game. 12 workers altogether if you account for the fishing ships as well. While OLADUSHEK on villagers alone, he ended up losing 38 villagers and 3 fishing ships. So 41 equal losses for the bull player, if my maths are not wrong. So well done. Much higher APM this time around for the red player. And he moves on to the round 16. Perfect.